Hello student, once again you are welcome in Eureka classes. I am Dilip Sani, your master teacher of mathematics. As we promised student that we will study here the NTSE. Okay, so today we are starting our first chapter, first lesson related to the NTSE. We uploaded 2 to 3 videos related to the 9th and 10th academic, but we promised that we will mainly focus on the NTSE. That's why it's the most important session because we are starting the NTSE and the first chapter of NTSE. But before the starting any course, we must have to knowledge of the total syllabus of NTSE or any other course. Okay, so I'm discuss here the syllabus of NTSE. As you can see in the screen that this is the complete syllabus of NTSE of mathematics. Okay, so there are 17 chapters we will study in the mathematics for the NTSE, and we can see here that there are many topics related to the 10th class and some topics related to the 9th class and 1 or 2 topics that you can see here that is related to the 8th class also. Okay, so NTSE is totally based upon 8, 9, 10th. Okay, so if you have all the clear concept of 9, 10th and 8th, then you can easily crack the NTSE. Okay student, so which topics are from the 10th class, which topics are from the 9th class and which topics are from 8th class, I will explain here. The first topic, that is number system. It is the mixture of all 3 classes, 8, 9 and 10. Okay, you studied about the number system in 8th class, that is integer chapter, that maybe first chapter, 2 chapter, I don't have idea, but you studied about integer, I'm sure. Okay, and in the class 9th you studied the real numbers. In 10th class you will also study about the irrational, rational numbers. That all are the parts of number system. It is the longest chapter of mathematics. So I'm starting here the number system. I'm not discussing the complete syllabus here because we don't have enough time here. Without wasting time, we will start our first chapter. But you should keep it in your mind that we have 17 chapter and we will study 17 chapter one by one. Okay, so I'm starting here the number system, complete number system, each and everything about the number system. Okay, so starting number system, just keep your notebook with you because you can make your notes here, and if you are not concentrate, if you are not focused, then stop the video because it really I personally suggest you please stop this video, because if you don't have the focus mind here, then once you will see this video, then you will not want to see it again. Okay, and that's why you will miss the many things from this chapter. So if you are focused, you are concentrate here, then watch this video the further, and don't skip this video from start to end. Watch each and every portion, watch each and every part of this lesson. So we're starting here the number system. Okay, so what is the number system? The system of numbers, that is number system. Very easy. But in this chapter, what we will study, what points we will cover here. Okay, so the first point we will study about that is classification of number. So which type of classification we will study here? So look at the board. You can see here that the numbers have the 4 basic parts. Number have 4 basic parts. One is the natural number, second one whole number, third real integers, and 4 is real number. That are the 4 basic parts of the number system. Means we can say the 4 parts of number. We studied about the numbers up to the class 10. That number are divided in the 4 parts. So I'm starting with the natural number. It is very basic and easy. You studied in the class 8, so I'm going some fast here. Okay, so the first is natural number. It is start from the 1 and goes up to the plus infinity. Start from the 1 and goes up to the plus infinity. In the whole number we add the 0. If we will add 0 in the natural number, then we will get the whole number. Okay, so whole number is starting from the 0 and goes up to the plus infinity. Next one is integers. So student, before studying about the integer, I just want to tell you some important things here. That is, in the whole number and in the integers, the numbers will be without decimal. Without decimal means if I take here the 9.5, it is between the 1 to the infinity, but 9.5 have decimal between the digit. That's why we will not include this type of numbers in the natural number and whole number, and also in integer. Here we can see natural number are starting from 1 and whole number is starting from 0. Okay, and in the integer, if we will include negative number in the natural number or whole number, if we will include the negative number in the whole number, then it will be the integers. Okay, so when integer start from the minus infinity to the minus infinity to the plus infinity, but in integers we will not include the decimal numbers, okay, like 9.5, that is the number that have decimal between the digits, so we will not include these type of numbers in the integer, okay, and also we will not include these type of numbers in natural and whole number. That you should keep it in your mind, okay. And what is the real number, okay? So if you will add integer, if you will add decimals, fractions and square root numbers in the integers, then it will be it will convert into the real numbers. Now I am explaining here the real number, okay. So the real number have two parts. One part is rational, second one is irrational. Rational number, which number can be expressed in the form of a upon b, where b is not equal to 0 and a and b belongs to integers, okay. So that is the that are three rules to explain a rational number, okay. If any number follows all three rules, then there will be the rational number, and number which are not rational, there will be irrational number. And I explained rational and irrational numbers in my previous video. I add the link of that video in the description, you can go through that, okay. Now I am explaining here the prime and composite number. A number can be divided by any other number that are the composite number, and if a number cannot be divided by any other number, that will be the prime number, okay. So example of the prime number and the composite number are 3, 6, 8, that all numbers are divided by any prime number, that's why they are the composite number. And if I take an example of prime number, then it will be 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 9, 17, 23, okay. That all are the number is prime number, okay. So how many prime numbers from 1 to 25? How many prime numbers from 1 to 25? So there are 9 prime numbers from 1 to 25. And how many prime numbers from 1 to 50? So there are 15 prime numbers from 1 to 50. And 1 to 100 there are 25 prime numbers, okay. So if you will get the question that how many prime number from 50 to 100, then 25 minus 15, that will be 10. So the 10 numbers are 10 prime numbers are between 50 to 100. That is also additional information related to the prime number. You have to keep it in your mind. Maybe some question related to this will be in your exam, okay. So next one is co-prime number or twin prime number. What is it? If two numbers don't have any common factor, there will be the co-prime number, like 5 and 4. They don't have any common factor, that's why they are the co-prime number, okay. We can also take the 6 and 7. 6 and 7 also don't have any common factor. We don't have any number that can divide exactly both numbers, that's why they are the co-prime numbers and twin prime numbers, okay. Now the most important topic is starting here, that is divisibility rule. What is the divisibility rule? The rules that shows us that any number is divisible by any number or not, okay. So divisibility rule, if I am starting from the divisibility rule of 1, then all numbers are divisible by 1. So all numbers, positive, negative, fractional, all numbers are divisible by 1, okay. So the next one is divisibility of 2. Divisibility of 2. All even numbers are divisible by 2. That is the second rule of divisibility. That is the divisibility of 2. All even numbers are divisible by 2. And what is the even numbers? If a number has unit place number, the 2, 0, 4, 6, 8, that all are the even numbers, and even numbers are divisible by 2. Now moving to the next, divisibility of 3. If the sum of digits of a number, if the sum of digits of a number is divisible by 3, then that number will be divisible by 3. That is the rule of divisibility of 3. If I am taking your example, that is 349263. 349263. If we will sum of all digits of this number, then we will get 27, and 27 is divisible by 3. That's why that number is divisible by 3. Okay, that is very clear. Now moving to the next rule of 4, divisibility rule of 4. You can see here the divisibility of 4. If the last two digits divisible by 4, in the general way we can say, if the last two digits divisible by 4, then that number will be divisible by 4. I am taking here example like 3, 4, 6, 4 and 8. Here we can see that the last two digits are 4 and 8. And 4 and 8, that is 48, and 48 is divisible by 4. That's why the total number is divisible by 4. If any number that have last two digits divisible by 4, then that number will be divisible by 4. Okay. Now moving to the next, divisibility of 5. If a number have unit place digit 0 or 5, 0 or 5, maybe 0 or 5. Okay. So if a number have last digit or unit place digit 0 or 5, then that number divisible by 5. Okay. You can take your example like 5, 4, 2, 3, 7 and 5. Okay. So that complete number is divisible by 5. Now divisibility of 6. How we will find that number is divisible by 6 or not? If a number totally divisible by 2 and 3, then that number will be divisible by 6. And in the other words, we can say all even number divisible by 3, that number divisible by 6. That is the rule of 6. Okay. Now I'm moving to the next divisibility rule, that is divisibility by 7. So how we will find any number that is divisible by 7 or not? For that we have a process. I will explain it by example. Okay. So I'm taking here example 3, 4, 3. This is example 3, 4, 3, and I'm checking here is it divisible by 7 or not. This is a process for checking the divisibility of 7. So how we will do it? We double the unit place digit, and after that we will minus it or subtract it from the remaining numbers. Okay. So unit place is here 3, and we will double it, that is 6, and we will subtract 6 from the remaining number, that is 34. 34 minus 6, and we are getting here 28, and 28 is divisible by 7. That's why the total number, that is 343, is divisible by 7. That is a complete process to check the divisibility of 7. So how we will check? We double the unit place digit and subtract from the remaining numbers. If we will get that result is divisible by 7, then the total number is divisible by 7. That is the rule of divisibility of 7. Now moving to the rule of divisibility of 8. So which number are divisible by 8? If the numbers last 3 digits are divisible by 8, then that number is divisible by 8. If I am taking your example like 4, 6, 5, 1 and 2. So we can see here 5, 1 and 2. That are the last 3 digit of that number, and this is we know that this is the cube of 8, and this is divisible by 8. That's why we can say the total number is divisible by 8. That is very easy rule. Okay. In the 4, the divisibility of 4, last 2 digit. In the divisibility of 8, last 3 digit. Okay. That's clear. Now moving to the next rule, that is divisibility of 9. If the sum of digits of number is divisible by 9, then that number is divisible by 9. It is same like the divisibility rule of 3. Because in the divisibility of 3, the sum of digit of number is divisible by 3, then that number will be divisible by 3. Same in the divisibility of 9. Now moving to the divisibility of 10. If a number has unit place is only 0, then it is divisible by 10. Okay. In the divisibility test of 5, unit place digit is 0 or 5. In the divisibility test of 10, we have unit place 0, unit place digit is 0. Now last one, that is very important, and you can see question related to this divisibility test, that is divisibility of 11. So which numbers are divisible by 11? I'll take here an example related to the divisibility of 11. Here you can see the example, that is 4, 3, 7, 6, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So is this number divisible by 11 or not? How we will check? So for that we have a little process how we will check that is it divisible by 11 or not. So first we will do the sum of odd place digit and even place digit. If the difference of sum of odd place digit and even place digit is 0 or divisible by 11, then that number will be divisible by 11. If it is not divisible by 11, then that number is not divisible by 11. So if I'll check for this, if I'll check for this example, then here we know that we can easily find out the sum of even plus digit number, that is 17, and sum of odd plus digit, that is also the 17, and 17 minus 17, that is 0. So this number is divisible by 11. If we will get the difference 22, 44, 66, then this number is also divisible by 11. That is the complete rule for the divisibility of 11. So these all are the theory part and theory portion of the number system. We also studied some theory portion of the this number system, but before it we have to solve some question related to this theory, divisibility rule and the classification of numbers. There are many questions related to this theory, so we will do the questions of this theory in our next session. So student, keep watching our videos and use your lockdown time. We will do some problems, we will do some questions related to this theory in our next session. So keep watching. Thank you. Have a nice day.